welcome to What Happens in Here. That's our title. We figured it out.
Yeah, what happens in here?
What happens in here? I'm Kate. This is Amy.
Hi.
We're just doing this. Okay, so I don't know. What are we gonna start with? Today we want to introduce.
Yeah, let's start out introducing so they kind of know our story.
The story.
And so they can really see how they can relate to what we've gone through, how we can all relate.
Yes.
All of us can relate.
Yes.
On some level, a level or another, right?
Yep.
So first of all, I'll just say my part in this is Kate had this idea to do a podcast. She's wanted to for several years, right?
Yeah.
And I am Kate's life coach.
Yes.
We've been coaching for a couple of months. Well, it's about 5 or 6 months now total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Anyway, so much fun. We're having so much fun together. And I'm going to kind of let her explain her story a little bit. But this journey has been so wonderful, and we want to share it with others so other people can learn to love who they are, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Just love who we are wherever we're at in our journey, right?
Yes.
So you came to me in hopes of that. Kind of explain, tell a little bit about you, how many kids you have, all that stuff, and then kind of why you came to see me.
Okay. So I'm Kate. I have 6 kids. I've been married we're coming up on 19 years now. And I do think that played a big part in how I felt about myself. I feel like I just got in the mom mode of just being a mom, doing things for other people, being at home. I wasn't working. I kind of was, but not much, because I didn't feel like I was good at the career I had chosen, so I wasn't confident in putting myself out there. And then it was just hard to find people to take care of my kids, that kind of thing. And so I started, I got diagnosed with depression. So I started on a depression med, and I found that I don't know, it kind of worked, but it just kind of got worse over time. And I found that my brain started these paths. It started these, I can't even think of the word. Just
these pathways, and they were looping the same kind of thing over and over. And it was like negative talk.
It was negative. And my brain got to the point where so I would start a project and I would get overwhelmed and I wouldn't be able to finish it. And so it was just kind of this, and my brain realized, well, you're not going to finish it, so don't even start it. Like I would get these ideas, and then my brain would be like, no, you're not going to do it. And then I'd be like, you're right. And so then it kind of got into depression. Well, I started a new job. I helped a friend open a business. And I found, while I was doing that, while I kind of liked it, I found that I would get very emotional while I would do it, but it was a negative emotion, but it was negative on myself. Mm-hmm. It was just, you're not good enough. You're like all these, as I was working, because we worked in the quiet, in the dark, and so I just had time to sit for like an hour to think
and just ruminate on these thoughts.
Yes, and that's all it was. It was just negative, and I would find myself like crying while I'm doing it, and I'm like, this is not okay. So I went to the doctor. I'm like, hey, we've got to fix my depression meds. Something's going on. And as I talked to him, he was like, it sounds like you have ADD. And I was like, no, I'm depressed. I'm not thinking nice about myself. And so he's like, fill out this paper. I'll be right back. And so as I'm filling it out, I'm like, oh my gosh, ADD, like, yes,
it was just fitting.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I got put on medication, and it was, at that point, it was life-changing. I was like, whoa, I have never felt like a person. Like, I don't know if you've experienced this, because I've heard a few women tell me they felt the same way. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I didn't live in the front of my face.
Yeah.
I lived back here, and I just saw things, and I would like get these thoughts like, oh, say something, like, you like her shirt.
Yeah. Tell her she's pretty.
Yeah.
And then you just couldn't
Nothing.
do it. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Even family functions, and I see all, cousins stuff, and everyone's giving each other hugs, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I should hug them. No, I'll just sit here.
Yeah. So the medicine kind of started to help you remember who you really are.
Be
who
who
you
I
really are.
was.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy because I also noticed I couldn't even make eye contact with people.
Mm.
Not even in tough situations. Like,
Yes.
just somebody who's talking to me, I could not, and I tried. Like, I challenged myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hold it. Just look at their eyes. Just look. And I couldn't.
Could not.
It was
could
the
not do it.
weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But I started medication, and I was like, oh, I can have a conversation.
Yes.
I feel like a normal person. It was awesome. And then...
And so here, let me come in here.
ahead.
Just what happened is, so she started this medication, gave her some help to kind of
It
focus her brain, but because of these long pattern habits of thinking and believing lies and so on, she still was really struggling with her self-worth.
Yeah.
When she came to me 5-6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a foot zone therapist as well, and we started just doing foot zones. I do a little coaching in foot zones, but then she was like, I would like to do life coaching, to where every week we met. And I will just say this, our first time, and we're just going to get really real here.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable too.
Yeah.
We talked about it. She's okay with me getting really,
Yes.
really vulnerable with you guys with this journey. I saw this beautiful, sexy, amazing woman in front of me. I was like, wow, she's gorgeous. And I knew about her already because her mom actually sent her to me.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom sent her to me. She had told her about me, and for months said, go see her, go see her. And then one day, I don't remember how it finally happened, but she came.
Yeah, I think I was just at a point where I was like,
I need
help.
some help.
Nobody can help. I can't find these answers. I need some help.
Yes, and she just was at a place of self-loathing.
Mm-hmm.
She was at a place of, and she had been believing these ruminating thoughts that have been going on for so many years. Well before the medication came in to give the tool there.
Yeah.
I
I think the medication helped me to see. It opened my eyes, and I was like, oh, I am a person.
Yes.
I have value. I can do these things. I can
focus. I
Yeah.
can finish a project.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Those thoughts.
yeah.
And so she basically said to me, when we talked about her gifts and her light and her love and how amazing she is, or changes she can make and all of those things, she said to me basically, everyone else can, but I can't. She believed that deep within her. Everyone else can repent or change themselves, whatever it is.
I would have these amazing ideas of something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Even this
My
podcast.
podcast, yeah.
And it was like, well, that's great for everyone, but not you. You won't do it.
Yeah.
You won't finish it. You're not good enough. Any thought that I had.
That's right.
Even when it came to like having an organized house, clean house, it was, well, you have 6 kids. You can't. You just can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything.
And it just was like that. So there was a resistance in her that was very powerful.
It is.
So we just began to meet weekly.
Yeah, we started monthly, and I was like, I need to come more.
Yeah.
So then we went every other week.
Yeah.
And I was like, no,
Yes.
I need to come more.
And then we did the actual official coaching program where I would literally, she came to learn.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, what can we work into this foot zone?
Yeah.
She came teach me these skills.
Give me tools.
Uh-huh.
I need help.
Yes.
I need to figure out in here. Because that's for years. I was like, something in my brain feels broken. Like, that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Was something in there is broken because I could say things logically,
Yes.
but they wouldn't sink in. They wouldn't apply to me.
Mhm.
I'm like, something is in there is broken, and I need some help, and I haven't found it. Like, I was looking, I just couldn't. I have read so many self-help books.
Oh.
I have been to so many conferences and all these things, and you're on fire. And then
Yes.
I had trouble applying them to myself or being held accountable.
Yes.
I just was like, yeah, everyone else can do that, but not me.
But not me.
Yeah.
Right. What happened for me as I got to know Kate better, and just hearing, what she did that past week, and prepped all these meals for the week, and just kids had these experiences at school where she typed it all up, and she just doing so many amazing things, absolutely not recognizing it, and not even seeing it as something amazing. Because we're all amazing, all of us.
Everybody is.
We're all amazing,
Everybody
you
is.
guys. And so she just wasn't recognizing these things. She had been believing these things for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're kind of wanting to do, at least in the beginning of this podcast, and it might change what happens in here, is what has happened in here.
In this room, this is where we've met.
Yes.
This is where all the foot zones have happened. So much has happened in here. But it also pertains to what happens in here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah.
What happens in here, or what happens in here.
Yes.
So that's where we're.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with this. We we've talked about it, and then that one came up, and we were like, I feel good about that. I feel good because it's everybody.
It's
what
everybody
in everybody in here.
Yes. And just to look at this beautiful, slender, amazing woman, so talented, so many gifts, and not even know as you're looking at this woman how much she's struggling inside and seeing her own value. Yeah. And the more I got to know her, the more I saw this. So we've been doing tools, and I've been watching her, and you've been feeling yourself learn to love who you are and see your beauty and see your value.
Yes.
Right? And we do a lot of exercises and different tools she'd like us to talk about in this podcast of how to see the lies, question the lies, see the attachments, let go of the attachments,
turn them around. That's because that's been one of the things that has helped me so much is she's helped me to see that in myself, and then I go, oh, yeah, I do that. We started she one day was like, I know what we're gonna do today, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes, she's like, was it a dream or was it I don't remember.
Yes, it was like a dream or a vision, if you want to call it a vision, just depending where your verbiage is on that.
Yeah.
But it felt like a vision. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, we are gonna focus on all the things that you do. And I was like, okay. So I got a notebook, and I call it my do journal. And I literally write in that all the things that I do. Even if it seems insignificant, even if it doesn't seem like anything special, made lunches for my kids, ran my kids to school. And as I do that, it helps me to see that I'm doing a lot. And then she had pointed out to me, like, when I had told her this thing I had done for my kids and typed it up for them and given it to them, she was like, that's amazing. And I was like,
it was like going way over the extra mile, like 100 billion extra miles. She's like, no, don't people just do that? And I go, yeah. She's like, no, that's awesome. And I was like, oh, okay. And just seeing more and more how remarkable she is. And honestly, in all my life coaching, and I've done it for many years, I have seen the longer you sit with someone and talk with someone, get to know someone, you start to see how remarkable every single person is.
Everybody. Yeah.
So remarkable.
Yeah.
In our journey, just figuring out, how to love well, live well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you just don't see it in yourself.
It's so hard. Yeah. Because I feel like.
But how do you say that now? Because if we say it's hard, what happens? Our brain proves it to be true.
Yeah, proves it to be
true. So what do we
say
say instead?
Oh. Yeah, so that's what you were asking.
Yeah. So what can we say instead if it's so hard? It has been hard.
It has
but
been
I'm
hard.
hopeful in the future this will become easier.
Yes, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
That's it. That was one of the first things you taught me. Like, just open your brain up to hope. Just hope. Just say, I hope that I will be more
whatever the thing is. Whatever
it is in the future. In the past I was this way, but I am hopeful that I will, and that has helped so much. So much. But I do think, because so this is kind of a topic that I've heard from a lot of women, you probably have too, of just not feeling good enough, not ever feeling like you do enough, or you are good enough, or pretty, or whatever it is, the comparison.
Exactly.
And then, like, along with that, I know that, like, because it's my life is my story. That's mine. Nobody else has the same one. And it feels, at least this is me, like, from the way I grew up, like, to me, I'm just like, no, everybody's that way. It's everybody. I'm nothing special, and that's the way my brain was speaking.
But you are now.
Yeah.
And everyone is special.
Everyone is.
That's the thing. It's not like I'm special and no one, and they are and they aren't, and there's no judgment there. We just all are special.
Yeah.
Unique individuals.
Yes. And that's their story has made them who they are, but to them it feels normal.
Yes.
Because that's their story. That's how it's always been.
Right.
And so to them, they're like, I'm nothing, it feels like nothing special. And I think that's where I was living. But I was always focused on the lack, on I'm not good enough at, running. I don't do all the things at home as a housewife.
Like
I don't keep
what
my
I
house
don't
clean.
do.
That's
what I don't do
Yes.
instead of what I do.
Because I had this list, this running list in my head, and I think a lot of moms can relate to that. We have this list of all the things we need to do, and at the end of the day, we get looking at it and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do. And that's when I would start thinking about, okay, I would have to like pause and be like, okay, but what did I do? What do I do? Pull out my do-do journal and go, okay, but I did this. I did this. I did this. So it's not like I was sitting around all day doing nothing.
Right, you're busy.
I was doing.
Yes.
And I think automatically we do the things that are either most important or most necessary, because that's kind of how we run sometimes in mom mode. It's like, oh, I have to pick up my kids from school.
I have to feed them.
You have to feed them.
Right.
And so you do those things that are necessary or, like put out fires.
Yes.
As a mom.
Yeah.
And so I think that because I didn't get to the small ones, then I feel not good enough and not enough. But looking at that journal of things that I do them because I do them for my family. I do them for my kids because I love them. That's why that's been another thing that I've focused on.
Exactly.
I do it because I love them. I do it out of love. That's why I do the things that I do, even if I sometimes don't want to.
Right, because you're tired or
And I'm like, but I'm doing it because I love them and I want to serve them.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so that was super helpful, was the do-do journal. So,
Yes.
So have a do-do journal and write down all the
things that you do.
All the things you do. All your do-do.
Yeah. The thing that has kind of been an overriding theme in every single one of our sessions, or almost every single one, and this is another vulnerable topic, okay? But we're going to get into it.
We can be vulnerable.
Is that she is always having this
resistance to, or clinging to, however you want to look at it, to this idea that her body needs to be a certain weight and a certain size. I don't know if you can tell just right here, but she's very slender. She's been a, is it a bodybuilding, what they call it, or is it bikini contest?
Yeah, it's in the bodybuilding world.
Yes.
But I did the bikini portion of it. So it's the least amount of muscle in a woman.
Yeah. But it's still where you're very low body fat and all of that.
But it's very, you get low body fat. They want the hourglass. They want all the things.
And so it's the state of suffering. That, if she doesn't weigh this exact amount that they had, come to for the bikini contest, that she is failing. And that she's lazy and a pig and a slob, or whatever words.
Yeah, but also...
They've gotten better, the words.
Yes. But also, I had that before. Like,
she's had it before.
It wasn't
just intensified
because I know, like, all of you who are in the bodybuilding world are going to say, well, yeah, once you do a show, then you get that idea of leanness, and you can't live there. It's not healthy.
Right.
But that you get that idea in your head.
Right.
And then you feel never good enough because you never look like that again. But you can't. You literally can't.
Because you're not going to live there, right?
No, you cannot live there.
But this has been a cause of suffering for her for many, many years.
Yes, my body image, my weight, it's been a thing for a long time.
Yes.
And so part of me was like, I'm going to do this competition to show myself that I can do it, that I am fully capable. I want to learn the tools. It was kind of more of I wanted to learn to control. I think I felt like I didn't have control, and I wanted to learn to control it all. So it's been a year. It was a year ago, I guess, next month.
That you did the competition.
That I did it.
Yeah.
But here I am, after the competition. Like, in my head, I was planning, like, okay, I'm learning how to do it. And, like, I kind of wanted to get in that world and kind of do a few a year and see what I could do. Yeah. But I found after that first one,
that wasn't helping your self-love.
It wasn't helping.
It didn't help it. Would you say it even lit on fire the not loving yourself? Because then if you did eat a French fry, then you're like, oh, I'm a loser. Or maybe not. Neutral?
For me, it's always been that. I feel like I've always been
It just feels the same.
I've always had this battle.
Yeah. Yes. She said to me in the very early stages, she said, here's what I want. She said, I want to love myself. No matter what size my body is. I want to love who I am and
Yeah.
love myself no matter what size. I told her this story that I want to share with you guys that, maybe, let's see, it was in the early stages of having babies. So maybe 30 years ago or so, a friend of mine, and I've been all sizes. I've been slender and very fit. I loved nutrition for many years, and then pregnant and coming down on weight. And I'm curvy right now, and I love who I am. Doing the menopause thing and figuring out that battle or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I love who I am, and I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy, so that I can live longer. I love life.
Yeah.
This gal, I was coming down from having maybe second or third baby, and she said to me, she was very, I love her so much. She's very, just says it as it is, okay?
I love it.
Like she's not worried about, she doesn't have a filter in some ways.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she said something that could maybe even sound rude, but it didn't to me.
Yeah, you
Just
knew
because
her.
of I knew her and I love her, and I also, the things I've practiced for many years have been, if someone says something unkind, it's because of their own pain.
Yeah.
And it's coming, and they don't even recognize it sometimes.
Yeah.
But she said to me, I want to ask you a question. This is really personal, but you seem to really feel happy, even though you are curvy.
Yeah.
Like you're fuller figured.
Yeah.
And she goes, and I love that. I want it.
Yeah.
And she was very slender. And she said, if I am not a certain size, a certain weight, I am so miserable.
Mm.
I'm irritable, I'm angry, I'm mad, and I hate myself. And I said to her, do you love yourself when you're thin? She goes, no, because I'm still always worried. So I said, so you're never finding self-love right now in this journey? And she said, no. And she said, how are you happy? I couldn't be happy if I was curvy like you are. That's the part that sounds kind of rude, but it wasn't. I felt it, and I said to her, I can tell you the answer to this. And I said this to Kate too, and she's heard me say it before. My self-love is not on how I look. It is not on what I have, and it is not on what I do. Because all those things are going to change. I'm a mom right now, but someday I'll be a mom, but they'll be out of the house. Hairdresser, I was a hairdresser for all those years, and then I'm not anymore, and I'm a life coach, and all these things, they're part of wonderful ways I learn and grow, but they're not who I am.
Yeah.
My weight is not who I am. Who I am is my soul, my spirit inside of me. And this, I believe, is universal, a universal truth. If this is new to you, just think about it. Just chew on it.
Yeah.
That we have a body and there's a spirit inside of our body. I really feel like that's a universal truth that I could share with anyone and feel like they might go, no, that's not possible. But just think about it. You could call it maybe an essence instead of a spirit if you're not comfortable with that word. But the idea of when you die, there's something that goes on. Okay? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I believe that essence in me and in you and in every soul on the planet is worthy of love, worthy to be loved, worthy to love. And so what makes me feel that self-worth is just knowing that, right? And so as I love freely and accept what she said that was maybe mean as just her question, really wanting to know. Yeah. It's not about all these other things. Yeah. So sure, if I'm whatever, let's just throw a size out. If I'm size 5 or whatever, and it's fun to buy clothes and feeling spunky and sexy, that's great. Yeah. But if I'm not, for whatever reason, okay, whatever's happening, I love who I am. I show up, and what for me it is, how do I show up for others, right? Yeah. How am I loving them? Yeah. That's where my self-worth comes from. That's how I feel. So no matter what I'm doing, no matter what, if I'm getting the action, like when she's wanting to do something, her idea and doing it, if I'm doing the thing I have that idea to do, great. If I'm not, I still love who I am. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we talked about that. Yep. And I think it's been ringing true in your mind, and you're seeing the truth to that.
Yeah. That's something I'm still in the process of working on, because it's not an overnight thing. It's definitely not. So even if you're listening and you're like, oh, well, that's great. So it's a process. It is a process. And I can tell you it has been super helpful though to have a coach or somebody who asks me those hard questions and points out the things
Right.
that I'm doing or the things in me that I'm not seeing.
Right. And then you're accountable.
And being accountable.
And we celebrate the wins.
The wins.
And that's important.
Yes.
When you have the win, you text me and say, oh,
Yes.
I did this. I felt this about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's in the beginning, for so long when I would come here, I was thinking, as I'm driving here, I'm thinking, okay, what went wrong? What do we need to talk about? What do I need to fix? Like, that's where my mind was.
Yeah.
And I was telling her that, and I said, I need to stop thinking about that. I need to stop focusing on what do I need to fix in me and focus on those wins now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I can see them. Like, before, I don't feel like I could really see them.
Yeah.
And now I can see them. And so it's like, now I've got to change my focus into the positive and focus on those positive things.
And what I say, and I love this, is I'm not a positive thinker. I'm a truth seeker. Because the truth is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We're all on our perfect journeys, learning things that help us grow and become who we already are.
Mm-hmm.
We're figuring it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is positive.
Yeah.
Even those difficult things that we face, because they challenge us to become more.
Yeah. And there's like she said to me today, is there something that your spirit's trying to teach you, that you're trying to learn? That because I've been having this. Well, it has to do with the
battle.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was battling that, and she was like, but maybe you're supposed to learn something, so I'm gonna think about that more. But yes, during those trials you learn, you grow. That's how we learn to grow. There's no growth in
when
comfort and ease.
That's right.
So,
coming out of the comfort zone is where that growth is.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do something right now. We did it. We've done it before. And we're gonna end this today with this, because it kind of is going along with what we're talking about, which is loving who we are.
Yes.
So do this. Do this today. Look in the mirror and do it, or find someone to do it with, because it's more powerful when you do it with someone else. We're gonna tell each other what we love about ourselves.
Okay.
Okay. So, and we've done this before a couple of times.
Yeah.
And you're getting more and more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But
it's
the fun
still
thing,
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Just keep getting so comfortable that you could do it for hours on end, because there are so many things that you do love about yourself, if you think about it. So how you do it when you do it with someone else is you say it 2 times. I'm going to say it, and then you're going to say it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll say it, and we'll go back and forth. It could be a huge, deep thing, or just, I love the way my eyes sparkle. It could be, I love my smile. Or it could be, I love how deeply I love people, or whatever. Anything in between there. There's no wrong way to do it. Okay? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
I'm always like, I don't know how to do this. So let's let you go first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's show off how good you're at this now.
Okay.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Inside and out. Okay. I love how quickly and freely I forgive myself. I love how freely and quickly I forgive myself.
I love that I love I love how much I love my children.
Perfect. I love how much I love my children. Okay. I love that when I get a burr under my saddle, right? Like making products or whatever, I just keep working on it until I figure out the product. I love how when I get a burr under my saddle, that's how my husband says it to me. I do what it takes to make the product.
To make the product.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I chose that one on purpose. I'll tell you why. Because one of her things that she is trying to find the truth with right now is that she believes, and we uncovered this in a big way today, and she let go of this belief, and she knows that it's a flat out lie.
Mm-hmm.
But she has believed for many years that she has great ideas, but she never goes into action. We figured that out today. That was a lie, because she actually does go into action. I said it that because when I say mine and then she says it, it opens up that it could also be one of hers. So I chose that on purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
because I wanted you to say those words out loud that
Mm-hmm.
you love when you get a burr under your saddle.
Yes,
Okay,
and
so
just
that's why I
keep
chose it.
working.
Yeah, you do it until it's done.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I chose it. Okay, your turn.
I love that I am gaining confidence at work.
Perfect. I love that I am gaining confidence at work. I love how easily and quickly I forgive others. I said myself.
Oh,
So it's a different one, yeah.
yes.
I love how freely and quickly I forgive others.
Okay.
The first one's harder
It
to
is.
forgive yourself, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So it took me many years for this to become a gift that I have,
Okay.
to become a strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why that's one of the first ones I say because I love it.
Because you love it. I
Because it
love
was a
that.
lot of work to get there.
Yeah. And that's something else that I think I struggle with, just to point out. Like, it's hard to say positive things about yourself. But when you've worked on something and you know it's now a strength, like, it's not you're not being prideful about it and saying, like, I am better than you. No, like, you are, I mean, I guess you are proud.
Yeah.
You're proud of that accomplishment.
Exactly, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When people are kind of worried about, I don't want to have pride, or I don't want to be too proud or whatever, I would say it this way: if you're proud of something you are accomplishing and proud of other people for their accomplishments, rejoicing and celebrating with each other,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But when it turns into an ugly thing is when we compare ourselves.
Uh-huh.
And we say, they're better than me or I'm better than them.
Yeah.
And then it's icky because
Yeah.
it's a lie.
Yeah.
No one's better than another.
Yeah. The pride comes when there's more. Someone has more, either whether you have more or they have more.
Mhm.
That's where it becomes.
But how fun to just celebrate and enjoy each other
Yes.
and our accomplishments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a couple more.
Okay. I love that I am learning to love myself better.
I love that I am learning to love myself better. Feel that one. That's good. That's so good. I love how deeply I love people. I love how deeply I love people.
This is hard for me because I tend to think of like other people. Like, oh, I see this in that
And so and
person.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So I know why you see it in yourself.
I know, that's where
Yeah.
my brain first goes.
Yeah.
And I have to like pull it back and go, no, like, think about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what do you love in yourself?
About yourself, yeah. So now if you want to do this helps. If you want to try this, if you're in this position Katie's in right now.
Instead of thinking what you love about yourself, think about what your mom loves about you or your friends love about you. What have they said to you? So this is self-nurturing, and it wakes up this part for you to recognize it within yourself.
Yeah.
So what has my mom said about me? Okay, I'll say one. I love how empathetic I am. I love how empathetic I am. I've heard that from my mom for years, right? So find one that you know from what you've heard from kids or husband or friend.
I love how good I can interact with others.
I love how good I can interact with others. Perfect. See, and so that's a way to kind of find some of them. Is think about what others would say to you. Think of all the things you've heard me say to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yes, and that's what I was
There's a
gonna
lot
say.
of them.
Yeah, in the beginning, when this was super hard for me, she said, okay, I'll do mine and I'll do yours.
Mhm.
So she would say hers, and then I would, we do it together, and then she would say one that she saw in me, and then we'd say it together. So she was doing like most of the talking, but I was repeating all of them, but it was very clear where she was saying, this is mine,
Yes.
and now I'm doing one for you. So that was very helpful to see, if you're in this space of, I don't love myself, or if you're helping somebody who's in a space of, I can't see anything that I like about myself, then you can see it for them. And then they say it.
They say, and they feel the vibration of it.
Yes, and it opens their mind to
The truth.
to
To the truth.
Yeah.
The beauty in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens in this room?
I know what happens in here.
Or in here?
What happens in
Yeah.
here? What happens
What
in here? What
in
happens in here?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. So we'll do a lot of this.
Yeah.
Lifting the vibration of finding to self-love, becoming who we already are.
Yes.
remembering and becoming who we already are.
Yeah, that's kind of the focus that I've wanted in this.
Yes.
Is I mean, for me it was I want help with this, but I know I am not the only one who struggles with this. And so it was one of those things that I thought, if I'm gonna discover this, ask questions about it, go on this journey, I want to record it. I want to share it. I want other people who may not. I mean, because I've been struggling with this for years. I didn't know where to find answers, and I feel like I finally found help. And so maybe everyone doesn't have access to a coach or the money for it. So we're just putting out tips and tricks and tools that can help you realize these things.
Yeah. So we'll keep putting these out, and there's a different tool each time. We invite you to do the one of self-love, look in the mirror, find someone to do it with, and just say things out loud. So see how you feel after. Okay.
And then we'll just keep letting you know what happens in here.
Yep, what happens in here.
Yep. Hey, thanks guys.
Thanks you guys.
See ya.
Have a great day.